when you're fresh off of, what I'm saying, you fresh. Listen, fresh off of number 60. First, let's do that. Celebrations for
Thank
for 60 years
thank you.
with the Quiet Storm. Fresh off the 60th, living the best life. Bama win earlier in the day that we celebrate. We had to
Yes,
scrape
man.
one out, but a win.
Hmm.
Beautiful ride to the restaurant. Nice, wonderful night, chilling. You can talk. That's all. It's about you. You can celebrate your 60.
Oh,
However, you can tell people how the 60 felt.
the,
We will get into what happened with the football. We will
we'll
get
get
into the
into that.
Dallas, but let's start with
Yeah.
the good. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Let's
We
start. Let's
handle
start with
business.
how.
We handle business for the Quiet
Sim-
Storm. Let's introduce the. I'm just Ace, but we got the Quiet Storm over here to that side.
yes, sir.
The man, the
Yes.
myth, and the legend. How we feeling
Yes.
today,
Yes.
Pop?
Yes. I am feeling really, really good still. I had the just this time last week. I'm preparing for my 60th birthday, my 60th rotation around the sun, and I could not be any more blessed than what I am now. I am grateful for my son, Ace, my man, my mellow, as I
Yeah,
call him, you know.
yeah.
Um, Tiffany, my daughter Tiffany, I love you, baby. Lasagna, daddy loves you. I couldn't have been blessed with better children. My daughter-in-law, Christiana, love you, sweetie. We bring joy to my son's life. So, as far as I'm concerned, you everything.
Good money.
Um, my wife Leslie, to everyone who's a part of my life on a regular basis. I love you, and I thank you for sharing my birthday with me, Yolanda. Um, Brian, Bryce, Tyler, Rhonda, my AKA friend, who's always thoughtful. Um, everybody who sent me, Linda, everybody who sent me a card or a well wish, Facebook, social media, wherever. I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. So it's been a great weekend. Um, I didn't forget you, Amber Richardson. I didn't forget, some of you. I can't thank everybody because we don't have but so much time on the show. But I want to thank all of you for thinking of me on my born day. And it started off great. Let me tell you something. That Saturday,
Yeah, yeah,
my
man.
birthday was actually on the 11th on that Sunday. But that Saturday started off with, and we're going to get right into the University of Alabama,
Ooh.
right?
Let's take a sip
Now,
for Bama.
listen, I'm going to take this sip real quick.
Take a sip for Bama.
That hit the spot right there. Now, let me start off with saying this. The state of college football over the years has changed dramatically over the past 2 years. But one thing that's always remained the same in college football is that the more you beat up, the greater the margin which you beat up on the team.
Look at my man,
Uh,
Delvin.
we gonna get to that dinner, man. That dinner was everything. Listen, Delvin, that dinner, bruh. Whoa, man. Um, um, the way teams beat you tends to steer voters in a certain direction, right?
It does.
So Georgia beats up on Sanford. They did what they were supposed to do against the
They
team
did,
they were supposed to beat.
as they
San,
should.
right? Sanford's personnel is not as good as Texas personnel,
It's not at all.
but Bama had a struggle win, so they dropped in the standings. Now, this is what I take from that game. Bama played an uncharacteristically, for them, undisciplined game. The crowd got to them. They didn't have the mentality. Nick Saban said recently, since that game, that they used to have a bunch of people who were always angry at the other team. So, and they played angry. They played better on the road sometimes than they did at home. And that goes into a mentality that no matter, I'm going to feed off your hate for me
Right.
and the uniform I wear, and I'm going to take the lifeblood out of you. That's what Bama teams in the past have done. That's what the Bama team did in 2020 when they steamrolled Everyone undefeated season, national championship. Nick Saban doesn't feel like he has those guys right now, those guys who are just mad every week,
Right.
right? And I think that's going to be the case throughout college football, not just an Alabama issue, because NIL people are playing for money, even on
Right.
the college, even in college, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're not going to risk getting hurt and lose money. They're not playing with the same level of intensity, the same level of I hate you. I don't hate you on Saturdays I
Right.
hate you. You don't see that a great deal. You see teams are just they're winning. They're winning the way they should win, but they're winning different. If I'm making sense.
Yep. Yep.
So Alabama wins 20 to 19, right? They may have had about 6 or 7 drop balls, just like in the national championship game
Terrible penalties.
against Georgia. They dropping balls, not securing the ball, bad tackling in some cases, uncharacteristic for Will Anderson penalties. Just
Yes.
lack of discipline
Yeah.
penalties. See,
Yeah.
and offensive, see, if you get called offsides or if you get called for false starts, you get that in a hostile environment like that. Especially if you're in the shotgun and you're 5 yards behind the center, right? That crowd noise is going to be, and there's only so many silent counts you can do in rhythm, unless you're in rhythm with your offense. Offsides is no excuse for that. You
Right.
understand?
Right.
Because you're literally lining up
You're
offsides.
just
You're
lining up the wrong
literally,
way.
trying to anticipate the snap count, and you're just constantly doing those things that are hurting your team. And Dallas played a very bad game when it came to being disciplined. Now, moving forward, they won the game. They
They
won the
did.
game in some very trying circumstances. They won the
Right.
game in some very, and I think that's going to bode
Tough
well.
environment. Texas is a lot better team than people give them credit for.
Even
But when
absolutely,
you're down, you got a minute 30 left and you trot out the Heisman Trophy winner, you always feel like you have a chance. And when the Heisman Trophy winner does Heisman Trophy winning things, you get
yes.
down there, you got the best kicker, maybe in school history, but you got the
Hmm.
best kicker in the country right now who
Hmm.
unfazed. He's kicked to the biggest games
Hmm.
already. He knows what that feels like. Goes down, they ice him, doesn't matter, claps it off, kick the field goal again,
Hmm.
turn the TV off, let's go eat. It's
Let's
just
go eat.
simple.
It's
It's just
simple.
simple, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
simple
and
when
and
it
and,
comes down
and,
to
and
that.
it's a good point you bring up about Will Reichert that he has probably been the untold MVP of that team in ways that don't get the glory that a Will Anderson or a Bryce Young or a Jameson got 3 years back. When they won the national title. Uh, in 2020, he never missed a kick. He
It
never
matters.
and he
It
never missed an
matters.
extra point or field goal for the entire season. And when you have a player like that who's just not phased, no matter what the circumstances, the
Don't
weather,
worry about it,
anything,
man.
I'm going to do my job. That's something that even if you're a defense, if you say if we hold them and get our guy within 60 yards or under, we win. And I think that's what happened with Bryce Young trotted out on the field after Texas went ahead. Bryce
He
Young
knew
trotted
what
on
was
the
going
field,
on.
and he already knew from having played against Auburn, having played and having to bring the team back against Auburn, had in similar circumstances, not minus the overtime. You have to win those type of games in order to get to the next week. Now this week they play Louisiana Monroe. I don't know
Yeah,
how that's going to
yeah.
turn out for Louisiana Monroe.
Saturday is going to be National What the Hell Happened in Louisiana Monroe Day. So
Yeah. It's going to be it's going to be it's going to be bad because typically when Alabama has a bad game like this and they play a team that they're supposed to stomp, they end up stomping them,
we gonna beat the calories out of them.
right? And
But
then the following week they have Vanderbilt, who's going to
an,
catch hell also.
more calorie beatings, and then we get in. It's what happened. But you know what? It's good that it happens early. And people, this Texas game, it wasn't that they were just playing someone. Obviously, they don't have as much talent, but you're going into one of the best. home stadiums in the country. You're playing against a team who has some really legitimate talent there. It was a test for Alabama. They didn't pass it as far as looking dominant, but they passed it as in go get a W. All that matters is that you have a zero at the end of there. Go get your
Hmm.
W and
Hmm.
walk off. We understand we got things to work on. That's no problem. We're not losing Appalachian State.
Mm,
So I don't really, you know what I mean?
mm, mm,
That's all, and this is not, it kind of is. It's a shot at Texas A&M, but it's when you go into these environments and okay, we played down, we didn't play well, but you walk out with a victory versus losing at home to a team who obviously you're better than.
hmm.
Obviously, Texas A&M is better than Appalachian State.
Uh,
Obviously,
yes,
Texas
yes.
A&M is one of the best teams in the country.
Hmm.
They played a game that they could not figure out how to win. Figuring
Hmm.
out how to win these games matters.
It does. It does. It really does. That's a very good point. And honestly, when you look at around the college football landscape, you have Notre Dame 0-2. They took Ohio State into the fourth quarter, almost midway through the fourth quarter
Right,
before Ohio
right,
State pulls away, and then they lay an egg against Marshall. See, and again, Alabama wins their game, right?
right.
Regardless of them, they didn't win by 20. I think that sometimes winning, Nick Saban's had a good point the other day. He said sometimes when you win, you lose, and that means that hey, we won our game, but we got dropped in the polls.
Right.
But what I think that's a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Alabama tends to play better when they feel like they're disrespected and the underdog.
100%.
And most teams do, but Alabama's really good to begin with. So when they feel as if, hey, you know what, all we did was win, but you don't like how we won, so you drop us in the polls. That's college football. That's what they
That's
do,
fine.
right?
I'm
And
fine.
that's
It's
okay.
fine.
I'm fine with that. If they had dropped to three, I would have been fine with that. Let
Right.
Alabama be the team that's well, all eyes are not on you. Now Georgia,
Let us feel slighted.
let us
That's
feel
all it is.
slighted.
Let us feel slighted. It doesn't matter because we have to go and handle business of who's in front of us. Georgia's going to be
Absolutely.
number one. That's fine. You still got to see us in December.
And
And if we
honestly,
handle
listen,
business in December, that's
and
fine. It
and
doesn't matter where we are.
and that division Alabama's in is a much tougher
It's
division
much
with
tougher than
Georgia,
the other side.
right? Because you Arkansas is playing damn good,
Georgia's going to
right?
look better.
Um, Texas A&M will write some things. You know what I
They
mean? They'll
will,
they, they'll they'll write some things. Auburn is still Auburn. They're not a good team this year, but you know what? They
they play
somehow
hard.
know how to play
They play
hard, and
hard
they'll play Alabama hard as hell, like they always do.
and get smoked.
That
Yeah.
that that division is a very tough division this year. Tennessee's better than I give them credit for. I didn't expect Tennessee to be, especially on offense. I didn't expect them to be that good, but they seem to be. They seem to have righted the ship themselves.
Right.
Um, so Alabama has a little tougher road, and these are home. These are really away games. They
Right.
play Arkansas on the road, right? They have Texas A&M at home, but they have Tennessee on the road.
Right.
They go to Rocky Top. So I think um, Bama has a different road to get there, but they'll see Georgia. In the end, they will see who
In
they
the end,
need to
we'll see
see,
Georgia, man.
and then everything
We'll see
will
you
be
soon.
settled at that point.
That's all it
Um,
is. So,
yeah.
so Bama felt good. Went to dinner. Dinner tasted so much better with a Bama W. It would have been
Mets
tough.
Mets won that night. I'm
Nets
I'm
won.
thinking, listen, I got listen, dinner tasted phenomenal. The Mets did their
Delvin's still
thing,
waiting.
right?
Delvin's still waiting about
Right? So
Delvin's
listen,
still waiting for the dinner
before we get
talk.
into, get into this, listen, I don't even know the name of the restaurant, to be honest with you.
Shout out
My
to Fleming
ace
Steakhouse.
the who?
Fleming's Prime Steakhouse.
Fleming's Prime Steakhouse
Shout out to
in
Fleming's.
South of Fleming's, South of Fleming's Steakhouse. I believe it's in Edgewater.
Yep, Edgewater.
Yep,
Fleming.
Edgewater.
Yep, yep. Fleming's
Yep.
Prime Steakhouse.
Edgewater, New Jersey. But first of all, let me tell you, this place. I mean, you walk into a steakhouse, it's nice. It's sitting off the water, off the Hudson River. It's overlooking the seats we had were overlooking this beautiful picture of the New York City skyline. Now, mind you, when we get there, it's sunny and all that good stuff. By the time we leave, by the time dessert comes around, it's dark and you start seeing the lights come on over in the buildings in New York. And I just lost myself. And in happiness, because views like that are everything for me. That was, and then all of a sudden here comes the menu. The steaks were phenomenal, man. Gosh, that ribeye I had was just probably top three ribeye I ever had. That thing was great. Well, I mean, everybody ate like we hadn't eaten all day, which was true. We hadn't eaten all day. But the ambiance was nice. The waiter, Jeff,
Jeff, shout out to my man Jeff.
listen, Jeff was on point with his job. He was really fantastic in his job. Um, Dessert, I what did I have? The key lime pie? Yeah,
You got the
key
key
lime
lime
pie.
pie. You got the key
Uh,
lime.
Man, listen, listen. So Delvin, listen. If you ever up this way, we got to go to the steak. Man, that steak that's one of the better experiences I've had on any day, much less for my 60th. So I'd like to thank my son and my daughter-in-law, for my wife and my family, for everybody, for just making it special. Um, it
No,
was just it was a
it was.
wonderful day, man. It was,
Felt beautiful.
and it felt
Felt
so
beautiful.
great. I
You
get
know,
home, everybody's great.
celebratory, McAllen 18 drink after the dinner.
Oh, let's
You know
not
what I'm
talk about
saying?
the McAllen 18, I got the sip on. I'm thinking, man, listen, I'm thinking if I ever become wealthy, I swear I'm not drinking no other scotch but McAllen. That McAllen is everything. So shout out to McAllen. Um, that
You
18
just
year
shouted
old,
out
let me
all of
tell you
McAllen.
something. Listen, all of McAllen, but especially that 18-year, which I had a chance to taste. Um, that was outstanding. And shout out to all things McAllen Scotch. So if anybody works for McAllen, see this,
Everything's
tell your
feeling beautiful.
bosses,
Everything's
hey,
feeling
we
wonderful,
got a shout
man.
out. Yeah, so I'm feeling
You were there
magnificent,
in
right?
spirit, my man. You know your family. You were there in
Yeah,
spirit. You know what I'm saying? You come
yeah,
out. You come out. We going right back. Don't worry about
that's
that.
right. That's right. I can't wait to meet you, Delvin.
So now everything's beautiful. We get into
Everything's
Sunday.
beauty. We get into
My
Sunday. I
turn.
wake up.
My turn. Sunday, happy birthday text, bang, bang. Pop
Oh
Diggity,
yeah,
happy
yeah.
birthday. Bang. 1 o'clock game's cool. I'm
Hmm.
nervous.
Right.
Giants. We'll see what's going on. We at Tennessee. One
Hmm.
seed last year in Tennessee. They lost a couple guys. Don't care. We out here. Daniel
Hmm.
Jones starts doing Daniel Jonesy things. I'm in there. I'm like, come on, cuz. But I'm looking. Saquon look all right, man. This is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Second half, Saquon. Oh, Saquon look get close. Mess up
Hmm.
the extra point on the touchdown
Right.
to Shep. Shep looking all right.
Hmm.
Okay, Saquon looking all right.
Hmm.
We get another thing. Saquon looking like bang. Tie. We go up. Tie game. Things
Hmm.
start to get a little bang. All of a sudden, Giants get the ball. We're down. Things looking dire. Daniel Jones, Saquon.
Hmm.
Things start to go downfield. We get the touchdown. I'm hyped. Voices are ready. I'm already starting to sound a little Doc Rivers ish. I'm already starting to sound like Doc Rivers. But I see Brian Dable throw up the two. I'm like,
Yeah, that.
we getting two of them? Shovel pass to Saquon. Two
Yeah,
years ago, Saquon gets tackled.
that's true. That's true.
Last year, Saquon gets tackled.
Gets tackled this year. He
This
does
year,
not.
Saquon,
Yeah.
two guys. Nope. Take this
Nope.
sidestep, cuz.
Nope.
Let me
Take
go
that.
ahead and dive in. We go up one. Defense starts to bend, going down.
Mm.
No.
Hmm.
Defense looking ugly. Bunch of white wide receivers with long hair start to get open. Cook, I'm like, is this Brady and Amendola in them and Edelman in them and all these like it's just a bunch of little. I was like, why is Wayne Corbett out here? Like it's just a bunch of no. They get their field goal, they miss 1-0 Giants. I'm feeling luxurious.
Hmm.
I'm like, it's my pop's birthday, man. Sunday night game, Tampa Bay, Dallas. I
Hmm.
think Dallas is gonna be all right. Like they got some injuries. I think all the NFC East won. So all of a sudden, oh, we're gonna go all right. But then
I'll take it from here.
I just don't know how to say it without being like happy.
No, no,
You want me to be excited? Happy. I,
no,
I
no, no,
can't
no,
say it
no.
without smiling
You
because
know,
I don't. you know I rock with y'all, so
It's okay.
I'm gonna let you get
I,
your
I,
bars off.
I've had 27, 28 years of this face when it comes to Dallas. And usually they torment you midway through the season. They don't wait till game 1 to torment you. Normally they'll get to game, week 10, week 11, you start getting the feeling like this is not going to go well. They took all the suspense out of it week 1. Um in as much as the game itself starts off 3-3, Dallas is, okay,
Right.
good defensive team thinking, we can keep Brady. Brady didn't have hardly no preseason. So, you know, let's see what we can do. We can rattle them a little bit. To Dallas's credit, they only gave up one touchdown, right? One touchdown.
They did. They
But
did.
you gave up 4 field goals,
Four of them
right?
things.
But you gave up one touchdown to Brady. But here's the problem that you have if you're a Dallas fan
Mm.
and you're just sick and tired of year after year after year.
Sick and
See, some
tired of being
teams,
sick and tired,
some
man.
certain teams, they'll have some lulls, but then they'll bounce back and then they'll have a nice 4, 5, 6 year run where they're really, really good. That doesn't always equate to Super Bowl, but at least you're in the conversation. At least you're in the in the in the building, right? We've seen it, and we have some teams out there that are perennially they're just not that great, right?
Right.
Whether it's bad coaching or bad ownership or bad drafts, whatever the case may be. Dallas hasn't always had bad drafts. Dallas has drafted well, right? Dallas has drafted, I would say, damn well. Why does Dallas lose year in and year out to teams that they can beat and not competitive against others? The reason why is that building is not conducive to breeding winners any longer.
Right.
It's just not. Kansas City, you can't name 10 players on Kansas City's team just off the top of your head. You can name 10 Cowboys, and none of them, or probably very few of them, are as good as those guys in Kansas City. Not, I'm not talking about individual skill, I'm talking about team skill, cohesiveness.
Mm.
Dallas has not had any cohesiveness as a team since maybe Parcells or Wade Phillips,
Whoa.
because Parcells held the players accountable, right? You who are held accountable, right? If you don't do your job, you don't play,
You don't do it. You don't do a job. You don't
right?
play.
If you don't do your job, you don't play. You go crying to Jerry, Jerry wants to intervene, right? Wade Phillips, you ain't doing your job, I'm gonna sit you. They go crying to Jerry, Jerry intervenes. One coach was fired. Wade Phillips was
Right.
fired after the year before going 13-3, and
Right.
I believe he had an 11-4, 11-5 record. He had a winning record when he got fired, right? So now you fire Wade, you fire Jerry. I mean, Bill just walked away, right? You come in the Jason Garrett era. He claps really well.
He.
He's outstanding. Now, as a human being, he's a wonderful guy. I don't talk when I say
Uh,
things like this about a guy. I'm not talking about his
listen,
personal life,
you ain't gotta say nothing about
right?
that. He was our offensive coordinator
Right?
in
And you
some of the
saw
some of the
and look what you
darkest
got, right?
times in my
The
heart.
darkest times ever, right? So listen, that's what we had for a generation.
Yeah, man.
For a generation. So
Here's what I'll say though.
and what I
They
want to
played for Jason though. They never quit on him. This team looks like they hate playing for McCarthy, man. They just don't want to play for
listen,
dude.
I
He
think
stinks.
Mike McCarthy, sometimes your reputation is your reputation, right? When he left Green Bay, what coach would want to not coach in Green Bay when you're winning every year? You have Aaron Rodgers, you're winning 12, 13 games a year, right? You're constantly in the mix. You've won a Super Bowl. Why would you just what is it about you that and you can blame Aaron Rodgers that McCarthy not there, but it's not that. He team players didn't want to play for him anymore,
Right.
right? So what happens? He's gone. They go right back to being a great team with him gone.
Yep.
So that tells you everything you need to know, Jerry Jones, before you hire this guy,
I
right? That there's a reason why he's not there,
hope he stays forever.
but he's not.
All
He's not.
right.
Now, um, Dallas is in trouble.
You think Sean
Um,
Payton's on that? Listen, my man
I
Brendan.
don't I don't I don't
My,
think I don't think
listen,
Sean Payton is going to
here's
go
what happened.
there if Jerry Jones is still right. I think Dallas is in trouble for years to come.
Here's what.
At first I thought Peyton would go there next year, but
No,
I really don't think so any longer.
you
I'm
don't see
beginning to
it.
believe no. I think that McCarthy gets fired and he just hires some other yes man and they'll
Oh
go
Jesus.
and they'll be bad again. And because that's the history they've given us. Until you change that history, right? Until you change it, that's all I have to go on. I have to go on what you've given me as and what you've given your fan base. The Giants, the Redskins, the Eagles are great fan bases, right? Very loyal to their teams. But even in their darkest days, you can see that those guys really do fight and try. They really do. They may not have the results you want, but you can see the effort on the field that they give you everything they got, even in the losing effort. That guys in Dallas are just you have a Micah Parsons who's a wolf out there. He's like a hound dog. He's trying to hit
Micah is
everything in
different.
sight, right?
Micah's
You
different.
you have guys on that D line. They played well against Tampa. They really did a good job.
They
It's
did.
just, but offensively, I'm going to say this now to Dallas fans out there. You can hate me. You can do thumbs down. I really don't care. Again, we're not here for your approval. We're here to just
Talk to
give
him.
you a fan's perspective from another fan. You heard it from me first.
Talk to him.
We will not win a Super Bowl with Dakota Rain Prescott as the quarterback.
Ooh.
We will not win a Super Bowl with that gentleman. Wonderful guy. He can come in a pinch.
You called him Dakota
What?
Rain, though.
Dakota Rain Prescott is
You
not the
called him
answer.
Dakota
And you
Rain,
have
though.
hamstrung, in Dallas, you have hamstrung the franchise by paying him the money you paid him to get the results you got last year. That's what you paid for. You win the division, but then you promptly say, "Okay, San Fran, y'all go ahead with this one. We good over here." You promptly lose at home, right? That's
Right.
what you paid 100. What I believe 100, a little over 140 million. That's what you paid for, Jerry. That's what you paid for. You decide that this year we don't need Amari Cooper. You needed
Wow.
him. You needed him Sunday,
Wow.
right? You needed somebody to stretch the field. You have no one to do that. You have a guy who's now your number one, who
Mhm.
dropped more passes than he caught.
Oh, CD.
Right? So this is what you have given us as a fan base. You've given us hope on one hand that you're gonna right the ship, and then you snatch it back. You just snatch it on back. And we Dallas fans sit here loyal to you, always having to defend ourselves, always having to get the snide remarks and everything else, and we have no comeback. Nothing. Are there other teams out there that have not won in the past 20 years? There's a whole lot of them, but
Hmm?
nobody had the expectations that Star has had from a fan base that's tired of losing, or
America's
tired of
team, man.
being irrelevant, right? 1995, you went to a Super Bowl. You haven't been to a conference championship since 95,
Thank God.
right? And that was those were the years you should have won for at least four with that team. The way that team was assembled, you should have won a lot more. But you didn't. Why? Because you got in the way because you wanted to show Jimmy Johnson in the world anybody can coach this team. Well, guess what? Barry Switzer wasn't coaching that team. Dave Wannstedt and Norv Turner were coaching that team. Zimmer was coaching that team. All those assistants were coaching that team, while Barry Switzer was just doing Barry Switzer things. Right? So now Dallas, here we are. We're 0-1. We're the only team in the division to not win. And trust me,
Mm.
every team's fan base who won in that division let every Dallas fan know about it. Right? That's what you are going to get moving forward, Dallas fans. So my earlier prediction on Dallas winning 11 games, and no, you don't have 11 games in you. No.
How many games are winning?
Prescott is out for Jerry Jones trying to tell the fan base some more lies, saying, "Oh, he could be back in 4 weeks." Yeah, all right, Jerry, whatever, whatever, G, whatever, JJ. All right, whatever, man. This is what's gonna happen. Cooper Rush won that one game up in Minnesota, right?
Coopies.
Had a good
Coopy
game. Went up in
Rush.
Minnesota with that crowd, that
He did all right.
environment.
He
He
did
did his
okay.
thing. He
Coopy
won the game.
Rush.
This is a different Minnesota team now. He's not gonna go into Minnesota and win that type of game, right?
Yeah, nah, nah.
So this is my feeling, and honesty has always been my best attribute when it came to Dallas. Dallas has 5 wins in them in the season, maybe
Oh
6
my gosh.
at this rate, and not because they're not going to try. Ace, they're going to try to win. That defense is
Okay,
going to try.
of course.
Dan Quinn has no quit in his defense. Them
He
guys are going
doesn't.
to go out there and they're going to ball out. They have no offensive identity. Right now, you have a quarterback that's stinking up the joint all night. But you give Zeke Elliott how many touches? I think Zeke had
uh,
16, no, less than 16 carries. I didn't look it up.
I don't know.
They didn't even try to establish a run game. They didn't even try to establish
Yeah, but
anything up front. Right?
yeah, but like Tyron out, man. Like you gotta try to get in where you fit in. You feel me?
Well, you have to have confidence on someone. If you can't, so that's another thing about that. So because Tyron is out, you can't run to the right.
You can.
You can't have any zone try. You can't hit the gaps. I mean, wait a minute. Help me understand that. So you're all everything left tackle is gone. So the whole other side of the field is unavailable. That's what you're saying. So that's what you're saying. So in other words, Zeke can only run left. His body is not wired to run right or
I'm
anywhere
just.
else.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
But you know what? You gonna get some Dallas fans that's gonna hear that and say, you know what, you're right, man. Ace is right. Hey, without Tyron, I said, wait a minute.
That's what I'm
You
saying,
got you
man.
got you got guys over here that wait a minute.
Tough,
Don't
man. It's
don't they
tough
get a
sledding.
paycheck? So in other words, the Dak Prescott, you can only throw a pass 10 yards downfield accurate. Above that is a Hail Mary, a damn near. Come on, man. Come on, man. Get out of here with that. Come on, Dak. You're killing me. So you accurate within 15 yards. Anything above that, it's like a Hail Mary. It's like whoever catches it. Come on. I haven't seen. I saw Patrick Mahomes. I know you can't compare the two.
You
Patrick
can't,
Mahomes
man.
last night
Pat might be the most talented quarterback we've ever seen,
had
man.
a sidearm, underarm,
Broke free from the rush, run through,
listen, man.
running to his right, sidearm to the left, in
Sidearm
stride.
to the left,
But
in
he's
stride.
unbelievable though.
And then you had a guy
Herbert,
with
man.
hurt ribs,
Threw a
and
laser on
and
fourth
he
down.
threw
Did
a
you see that laser
laser
he
on
threw that
fourth
fourth down?
down.
That throw he made on fourth down to get down the goal
Listen,
line was
that
insane.
throw made me almost like, see, why can't we have that? Like,
Dak good.
why can't,
Dak is
why
good
can't
though,
we have that?
man.
Not on that throw. He
Dak.
don't make that throw.
Few people make that throw though.
Exactly.
Herbert
Herbert
is super
Herbert's in
talented,
what
man.
now? His third year now?
This
Yeah,
is this year
his
three of
third year.
Herbert.
So Herbert made that throw after just throwing the ball down because he was hurting. He comes right back the next play, throws a laser for the TD. Right? That's what I'm saying. You have to have your quarterback be able to make those type of throws in pressure situations, because the defense is not going to respect you until they see that that's the throw you can make.
Right.
If most of Dak's yards have come when the game's already been in doubt, especially in blowouts. Look at Dak's numbers as opposed to when it's a tight game. His numbers get better because he's playing catch up, right? A lot of quarterbacks are the same way. They'll put up 400 yards passing, but 180 to 190 of those yards came when you're losing 35-10. You got to you're passing your way back into the game. He has to get better. He's not.
Damn.
He's not. He hasn't shown that he's gotten better. And I remember Shannon Sharp saying that until you know how to throw, until you know how to hit a guy in a tight window, these defensive backs and safeties, they just gonna tee off because, or they're gonna jump your routes because they know it's not gonna be accurate enough, and that's what happens to him. He gets, he tries to force a ball into somewhere he can't, or he'll have his receivers clunk the ball off their hands, and next thing you know, it's an interception. Interception. Those type of things destroy a team's morale. Now let's look at this. They go into week 2,
I'm
right?
about to say, so yeah, let's touch
Cincinnati,
on Dallas and the Giants before we get out of here. Dallas, Cincinnati, man. Cincinnati coming off
a
of a
game they should
loss,
have won. A game
coming
they
off of a
probably should have
loss.
won, right?
You know,
They-
Dallas at
and
home.
not going to make a difference.
Burrow coming in.
Who cares?
You know, my man Jamar Chase coming in. T. Higgins coming in. Joe Mixon. It's going to be a big test for this defense.
Offensively, they
And
have more weapons than Tampa. If
they
you could
do.
arguably say
Do
their weapons are as good, if not better,
better,
than Tampa's,
better.
right? You look at their offense. They have, their tight end play is good and consistent. The wide receivers are good, right? They have backs who can also catch the ball out of the backfield.
Right?
They have a very good O line. They have a motivated O line since Lyle Collins is over there now, right? So now you get that coming into your stadium
Against Cooper
when
Rush, man. Cooper Rush
right?
might.
And Cooper Rush has to
Cooper Rush
face
might lie. Right.
all of that. Now, will Dallas play better offensively? I think in some ways it's possible. Cooper Rush is a better thrower. He's just not a better overall leader of
Anything
that.
else, sir? Yeah.
Right. But I mean, he can throw the ball. He proved he could throw the ball. I mean, he's um the problem with him is he's a gunslinger. he's you just don't know. You just don't know. And I think maybe this game goes into the fourth quarter a little tight, but I think Dallas loses this game. I think it'll be probably more competitive than the game
Okay.
against Tampa from an offensive side. I think Dallas's defense can play with anybody. I think their defense is good. I think they have to figure out what to do on how to get Trayvon Diggs to cover somebody. They have to figure that out.
Well, he's got Jamar Chase coming to town, so
Then that's going to be ugly. Because the worst thing you can do, the worst thing we see as Dallas fans is seeing Trayvon with all this talent in the world bite on a double move. That is the most frustrating thing in the world. And I see my eyes going to him every play, almost because that's what the you don't think the offense is doing that? He's gonna bite on that double move,
I think he might be better this year with that,
and
man.
they're gonna air it out. And at some point, two things gonna happen: the
It might be
receivers either gonna catch it, or it's
it
gonna
might
be
be
pass interference,
it might be all right, man. It might be
right?
okay.
So if he doesn't fix that, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt Dallas. Another thing that's gonna hurt Dallas also is they have, other than Micah Parsons, right? Who can they consistently count on week in week out in the pass rush?
Demarcus Lawrence is a good player, right?
He's a very good player, but nobody's double teaming him anymore,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay.
So he has to prove that he can handle the one-on-one battles, which would help a Micah on the other side, right? Now you may want to consider moving them both to the same side, right? And the reason why is now you have to shift your offense to
Okay.
you know, right? And that leaves opportunities on the other side. You understand what I'm saying? So I think the scheme is is good. I think Dan Quinn has a great scheme, but I just think he has to get guys. Somehow they have to figure out ways to get to the QB, which is a cornerback's best friend. I mean, if you have a quarterback who has to throw the ball sooner than he wants to because of
Right.
the rush, that only bodes well for the secondary. But we haven't seen that. But it's only one game. We'll see what happens. But
Okay.
I don't see anything major coming out of Dallas this year. Not
Okay.
now. Not now. It could
Okay.
change. It could change from week to week, but I just don't see it currently.
Okay. Giants at home coming off of a win. First 1-0 start in 6 years for us, man. And it's
Wow.
6 years, man. It's been 6 years since we've been 1-0, man.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah. Oh, it's been ugly over here. It's been nasty. So 1-0, we got Carolina coming off a loss coming in here. Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey. I don't. Here's where it gets to the point. We're not good, but we're not as bad as people thought we would be.
Hmm.
This defense is scrappy. We're still missing Kayvon Thibodeau, who's probably not going to play again this week. I'm perfectly fine with them. Just
Hmm.
listen. He's your first round draft pick. He's your first pick of the first round.
Did you
You
like how
wait till
Evan
that.
Neal looked?
Yeah, I did. I did. I did. But roll damn tide. It's Bama.
Of course.
If if
Yeah.
if, if we're gonna do anything, we're gonna block well and protect.
That's true.
So
Good point.
early we didn't, but Tennessee has a very good defensive line. Um, Later on, we got that under control. We gave Jones a little bit of time to make some throws, and if he has time, he's not terrible.
Hmm.
So home game, this crowd is going to be unbelievably amped. 1-0. It's going to feel like a Giants crowd. I don't know if we win this game because I think Carolina's solid. They have,
Okay.
you can argue, the most talented running back in the league. McCaffrey's going to do
McCaffrey. Yeah.
really good things.
Hmm.
Um, Baker's going to come in, chip on the shoulder. He just lost to Cleveland. That
Hmm.
probably had a lot of anxiety built up into him. He'll probably be a little bit more settled in.
Hmm.
DJ Moore's a good player. Robbie Anderson's a veteran, good guy. So the defense is going to have to show up. Um, Saquon is back, man. Saquon is back.
Hmm.
He looks wonderful. Sterling Shepard, when he plays, he does really
Hmm.
good things.
He does. Yeah.
It's going to come down to. I think this game is close. I think this is a competitive game. As far as do we win? Yeah, man. I'm feeling unreasonable. I think the Giants
Well.
go ahead and Giants win their home opener. And you're looking
Okay.
at 2-0 Giants, and I'm gonna come on here next week and I'm gonna act a fool. If we 2-0, I'm
Well,
coming on here.
I, I'm
I'm gonna
I'm
be
gonna say
insufferable.
I'm gonna say that from a prediction standpoint, I think that the more talented teams will start to figure some things out after week one, right? I think Dallas is will be much more competitive this game. I think they'll fight hard. I think they'll be better. I think they'll find a little bit more balance offensively because they have to with a quarterback who's not accustomed to playing
Right.
every day. And I think that bodes well for the offense. Hit them with a couple of quick passes. Hit them with a couple of screens. Hit them with a little bit of this or that. Keep Cincinnati off balance a little bit because they like to fly after the ball. So keep them off balance a little bit. I think Dallas makes this game competitive. Um, I think Joe Burrow will have a better game statistically than he had last week. Um, he has a Pro Bowl, All Pro level receiver over there. Um, so I think that that matchup with him and Diggs is going to be important. Even if they line him up on the other side, I think Anthony Brown is a little bit better. He played pretty good against Tampa. He played
Okay.
very well against Tampa. I think it's all going to come down to execution. And I think Min- Cincinnati at this point may execute better than Dallas, especially going down the stretch. I think that Joe Burrow, being a playoff team last year, and doing some things to get his team there, um, bodes well for him. My heart says Dallas. My mind says Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm always gonna hope Dallas pulls a win out. I'm always, no matter who they're playing. but you have to be realistic and look at the opponent
Right,
and
right.
see what you're up against. So they're
Okay.
up against it a little bit.
They
So
are.
I think the Giants win this game.
Okay.
I think the Giants actually are going to turn a corner and surprise a few
Let's
people.
go, man.
I think that if they can get any type of consistency out of their quarterback, I think that with Saquon balling the way he did that first game, I think that time off and really taking the time to rehabilitate the right way, not try to rush
Yes.
himself back, has
Yes.
helped him. He
He's
was
ready,
hard to
man.
tackle before. He's going to be
Ooh,
even harder to tackle now.
Saquon.
So I think Sterling Shepard is a very good, when he's on the field, he's a very good,
He's
very dependable
he's
receiver.
very dependable, man. Daniel
And
Jones loves him.
yeah, and I think that they have the right coach for right now, right?
I like Dable,
I
man.
think Dable. I liked him at Alabama when he was the OC there. They criticized him for lack of creativity, but it's college. You know what I mean? You know, there's only so much these kids can absorb
Right,
with a
right.
huge playbook like a pro coach would have, right? So I think that he's going to be a very good coach for that team. He has that mentality, that little edge to him that he's not from New York. I don't know where Brian Dable is from, but he sort of fits what a New York team's coach should look
Yeah,
like,
he's from
right?
like New England up there. He's from like
Yeah,
New
so he
Hampshire or
okay. So
something like
football is
that.
ingrained in him in that sense. So I think the Giants go 2-0. I think that this game actually ends up being something like 27-20. I think they win by a touchdown,
I don't care if we win three
right?
zip, man.
Because
Means nothing to me. Go get
I
a
think
W.
Carolina is also making some good moves as well, but the Giants just I feel differently about them this. So I'm
Figure it out.
so I think
Okay.
Dallas. I think the Giants to figure out. I think Dable has assembled a good staff around him as
I
well,
agree. I agree.
um, and
Things
that's
things are
everything.
exciting.
Yeah,
Say things are exciting.
things are looking good.
This is things are exciting. Before we get out of here, how much are we beating Louisiana Monroe by?
Well, I'm glad we brought that up. Louisiana Monroe. If any every Alabama fan remembers Nick Saban's first year at Alabama, he loses
Yeah,
to Louisiana Monroe,
yeah,
and there was Alabama fans and SEC fans laughing at Alabama. And,
yeah.
this is what you got. He got lucky at LSU. He
Right,
sucked at Miami. That's what you
right.
got. And but that loss, and then the arrival, I believe, the next year of Julio Jones
Yeah,
to Alabama changed everything.
all the things.
It changed everything for that team. That team has always been, I got to give Louisiana Monroe credit. They keep coming back for the whooping,
They do. Appreciate
right?
y'all.
We appreciate you. But this is a very, very angry Alabama team. This is an Alabama team that is extremely upset. And they've had to hear it from their coach all week about your lack of discipline. Yeah, the poor tackling, lack of discipline on the line, too many penalties, hitting a player when he was already on the ground, Will Anderson. Trust me, the horns down thing. Remember I brought that up
Mhm.
last
Mhm.
week? Nick Saban told him, don't do that. What happens after the game? Catches a couple of players doing that. He yelled
Don't
at
do that
them,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
Don't do that shit. I, I wouldn't be surprised if them players don't ever see the field this week. I don't know who did it, but if
Whoever did it, it might
they
not
may
play.
not they may not play. They might be in the transfer portal by the end of the year. So so that's
Whoever
but
do it might not play,
but
man.
um I think this game ends up Alabama 45, Louisiana Monroe 3. I'll
I'm
give
not.
them 3.
I'm not giving y'all no
Maybe.
points, man.
You're not giving them anything,
I'm
huh?
not giving y'all no points, man. I'm not giving y'all no points. 59 zip. See y'all soon.
What?
But yeah, 59 zip.
Let's look up Louisiana Monroe real quick.
59 zip.
Everybody, Louisiana
I'm not here for this, man. This is an
Monroe.
angry, like just angry, pissed. Oh,
Look at
y'all not that
Louisiana
good.
Monroe
We
football.
about to we about to beat we about to beat Adele high notes out of them. like no,
Um, the Warhawks, or nice, the Warhawks. Okay,
the Warhawks.
they Louisiana Monroe is 1-1-0, right?
Okay,
They
who they beat?
oh, you want to know who they beat?
Who they beat?
Let's see. But let me look at past games, because for some reason they won't put up their games. They won't put up the first two games. How you not gonna put y'all first two games up, man?
Who they beat, man?
How
Who
you, how
Louisiana
you not
Monroe get a
going?
W on,
How
man?
you go? How you gonna not put up your games, man?
No,
Y'all
man. Let's go ahead and
crazy.
do this, man.
Okay,
Let's go
so
ahead and do
listen,
this.
listen. They played their. How, yo, they can't. You can't find them, man. Hold up, man. Come on,
Hold on.
Raging Cajun. Nah, the
Let's go ahead and put this
Warhawks.
on now. Louisiana Monroe. Here we go. Bang,
Okay, who did they play their first game?
bang. Let's do this. We're gonna go games.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Texas
They
beat them
won.
to the. They
Texas
beat.
beat them 52-10.
Okay,
Texas beat them September 3rd,
right.
and September 10th they lost to.
No,
No,
no.
they
They beat
beat
Nickel State.
they beat Nickel State. I don't even know where Nickel State is.
It don't
They beat
matter.
Nickel State 35-7. But
Yeah,
they
they're not
they
scoring.
did
They're not
they
scoring
did
on
put up
Saturday.
10. They put up a nice 10 points on Texas. You know what I
They're
mean?
not scoring tomorrow. Y'all not scoring tomorrow, bro. If y'all score tomorrow, Saban gonna be even more angry going into next week. Y'all not scoring.
So so in other words,
So y'all don't get to
if
score.
they win, if they mess around and score 3 points
Saban gonna be
tomorrow,
pissed. He's gonna
then
be livid.
then he's gonna be absolutely besides himself
He's gonna lose his mind.
when Vanderbilt comes to town, huh?
He's gonna lose his mind.
Oh my goodness.
He's gonna lose his mind.
Uh
Vanderbilt better hope for a shutout tomorrow. He gonna lose his mind. That's all I'm saying. On that note, on that note. Oh, by the way, Mets, we
oh
on the way,
god.
baby. We in the building
And listen,
Sunday.
what's the score? What's the score of the Mets game? What's the score of the
We in the
Mets game?
building, Mets. We in the
Because
building
listen,
Sunday,
we will be
baby.
there Sunday. We will be there.
No
The
dugout seats.
Grom might be slated to pitch.
Ooh,
Mets are leading 1-0, bottom of the third.
we'll take that. Who is
Um,
pitching Sunday?
Now, because DeGrom is on his fifth day of rest, his scheduled start would be Sunday if it's on his fifth day.
Let's do that, baby.
And
That'll be
so,
wonderful.
listen, it would be wonderful for me
That'll
to
be
see
wonderful.
Jacob DeGrom out there. Come on, man.
We going, man.
You talk about a grin. Oh,
We in there, man. We
we
in
gonna
there
be in there.
Sunday afternoon.
So we gonna be
So
there.
if y'all turn on the TVs and y'all see two dudes, remember y'all see us in there. You
Oh,
know
we
what I'm
gonna be in
saying?
there.
With the chicken and waffles in the hand, like yelling out, Jacob!
Jacob, come on, Jacob.
We
Jacob,
gonna
you're
be
the man.
we in
How
there,
much money
man.
you need?
We, we better pay him whatever he asks for. I don't
I don't. You better just hand him a blank check and say, just fill
just
that out.
pay him whatever he asks for. I don't care how much it is. I don't care. It's not my money. Y'all
It
got
ain't
it.
my money.
Y'all better pay him.
Not my money.
Y'all better pay Jakey DeGrom whatever
That's right.
Jacob DeGrom wants.
And go
And
get
that's
Mike
all.
Trout in off season. You need more power with with
With
Alonso.
Alonso.
That's
We'll take
that's
it, man.
that's the one weakness that the Mets have. They don't have enough power in the lineup.
Listen, we'll see y'all, man. If y'all see a couple photos or something, a quick video pop up on the channel from Sunday, just know we living the
Don't be
best.
surprised.
Just know we
We
living
gonna
one
be
of the most
living our
wonderful
best lives.
lives, baby. We appreciate y'all
City
showing up
Field,
with us
we coming.
always,
We
man.
coming.
Hit the like button, subscribe as always, man. Appreciate
Love
the
you.
love. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all next week, baby.
See you next week.
Roll damn tide.